Okay. I
Okay.
still can't hear y'all though.
It'll probably kick in a second.
How do you get this cool background,
That's
Lisa?
weird.
You go where your video is,
Let me see if my speaker's on.
and then this little arrow, and it should say virtual background.
Okay, I'll try it next
I got it.
Or you can try it now. It's super easy. You just pick anything.
time. Okay.
And you have to tell it that you have a green screen, otherwise it wants to do all this crazy stuff.
Isn't that cool? Yeah. So I know that Crystal said she'll be table topics today.
Okay.
We had Yvonne and Emma on the schedule to speak. I don't know if they still want to. If they don't, I'm available and Crystal is. So we have backup plans.
Okay. I can be your, I guess, general evaluator if you want.
Okay. We'll see who shows up too. I had, let's see, Lucy's Toastmaster, yes?
Yeah. Do we
Good.
have a theme for today?
I just had it as learning new online skills.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Liza, we could use as general evaluator because Hillary said she would not be able to make it today.
Okay,
So
good.
the theme is learning new online skills. I hope that we get some other people trying it because I put it, you know, to all my friends.
Yeah.
So a couple of people said they were interested. So we'll see who shows up. Oh, look at you. Very
No,
good.
that's not gonna work.
You're almost on a white background. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, me too. I'm gonna go fix my lighting because I'm in an office with a window, and every time the sun goes up or down,
Mhm.
it messes with my background. And I noticed that at a different meeting where I was like, what's up with my background? It's like dancing lights. So let me go fix that.
Okay.
It's almost time. We've got 1 minute. I texted to Jason. Hi, Megan. Hi, Crystal. I haven't heard about, I know Hillary said she wasn't coming. I just texted to Yvonne and Jason and Emma to see if they were coming.
Okay. Well, yesterday I saw Emma on we had to practice our speeches.
Oh, yes.
So, anyway, just saw her there. She was practicing. Not practicing, but everybody was testing their audio.
Right, good.
Yeah. So I know she can
When
do
is
it.
the contest?
It's going to be the 4th, I believe.
Okay, April 4th.
Mm-hmm.
The same date it was going to be.
Same date and same time. Everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to do it at, I think it's at 2 o'clock is when the contest starts. But we're going to be there early, for briefing and stuff.
So where are y'all meeting at, Lisa?
It's online.
So are you and Emma gonna get together and do it, or you're doing it at your house and she's gonna do it at her house?
Yeah, I'm not having anyone come over here. Are you
Okay.
kidding? And I'm not going to anyone's house. No, thank you. I mean, and not that I don't trust you all, but I don't know what everybody's doing with their families and how much work they're having to go in to do. So I'm just being extra cautious and just
Sure.
Staying home.
like, I have no idea, what other people are doing in there, how sensitive they are to this. So just being cautious. I'm doing it at home by myself.
Well, I am so glad to see you 3 Aqua Vitais Toastmasters with us today, and also some of y'all cross over and are also Highnoon Toastmasters. And then Lucy serves as our Vice President of Membership, and that's challenging right now.
Public relations.
Oh, I'm sorry, Public Relations. Sorry. Hillary's the one that's doing membership, which is challenging right now because we're supposed to be getting people to renew, and I saw there's an extension on that. And I saw there's an extension for Megan, it looks like. Is there? Maybe? On the DTM?
I don't think so.
Oh, no?
I haven't
Oh.
seen.
Oh, I just sort of read it quickly. Oh, Yvonne is here. Yay.
Yay!
Hey, Yvonne.
Hello, Yvonne. How are you, Yvonne?
Hi, guys. Hi. I just came in from one meeting into the next one.
Good. Are you going to speak today, Yvonne? You were originally on the schedule.
I can if you would like. I have
It's up to
something.
you, dear.
Is that all
Yes,
right?
and you're on. That's good. I also have a speech that's timely,
Okay.
so I will be happy to speak as well, unless you want to, Crystal. Do you have something you need to get done?
I mean, I'm working towards I only have 4 more speeches to give, and I think there'll be plenty of other opportunities with all these online meetings. So I'm kind of curious to hear what you have to say. So
We can even do 3. Katie, welcome, Katie.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I am very good. I didn't notice you with that picture that you have.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Very beautiful with your hair down. I don't think I've ever seen it down.
No, not often.
So I want to introduce Katie to the rest of you guys. Katie is one of my co-La Leche League leaders. And I would say this is probably Katie's first Toastmasters meeting, or have you done it before?
Yes, it is.
First time, welcome. Who else is coming in with their phone? We're getting started a little bit later, just to get a little time to welcome people. Jason, I don't see Jason here. He's our president of Highnoon Toastmasters, and I'm sure that he also sends his good wishes. And I serve as Vice President of Education, so I will step up and open the meeting. We're glad to be here together on our first online meeting for Highnoon Toastmasters. I'm thankful to the Aqua Vitae Club for allowing me to test out their meeting last week and get a feel for it. Right now, I need to fill some roles as we're waiting for people to log on. So we have our Toastmasters going to be Lucy. Lisa's going to be general evaluator. We have 2 speeches, Yvonne and myself. And unless you want it, Crystal, I'm okay if you want it. Yes, you want it? Okay, we'll do Crystal. She needs to get her 4 done. So we're gonna have 2 speeches. We need 2 evaluators. Crystal is also gonna do table topics. I can be an evaluator for one of you 2. Who wants me to be your evaluator? Yvonne? Okay, I'll be your evaluator, Yvonne. And then I need a second evaluator for Crystal's speech. Who would like to do that? Megan, would you be willing? Okay, good. Megan will do that. We also have other roles to fill, timer and counter and grammarian. Anybody want one of those? Lucy, can you double?
I can do counter and grammarian, maybe.
Okay, Lucy will do those. And then,
Howard.
I can do timer.
okay, Crystal, you can do that as well? Oh, Megan. Okay, Megan's gonna do timer as well. Okay, we're all set then. I welcome you to this meeting, and I'm going to turn it over right now to our Toastmaster, Lucy Kernan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting. I wanted to let you guys know that today our theme is learning new skills online. And today during this Zoom meeting is a new online event for our club. And just before I joined, I was listening to a podcast by Brene Brown. I don't know if anyone else listens to her or reads her books, but she's really interesting. And her first podcast is about doing things for the first time and how we need to stay strong and power through instead of shutting down, which is quite often what people do when they're dealing with new technology. So I just wanted to share that with you. And she says to check your expectations. So if you have really high expectations about our Zoom meeting going really well today, then maybe lower them a tiny bit. We get you, this is over. So thank you everyone for being here. And I would like to introduce our general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Lucy. That was a great introduction to our meeting. I give everybody bows instead of handshakes or whatever we're doing nowadays. Now, as your general evaluator, I have a role, I have 2 roles. I have one, which is to lead my team of evaluators, so I don't do the evaluation on my own. And then the second is to evaluate anything and everything that happens in the meeting, from gavel up to gavel down. So I guess that's from Zoom meeting on to Zoom meeting off. So I'm going to introduce my team. My team is made up of 3 different people. And the first person I'm going to introduce actually has 2 roles. And it's actually 3 within our meeting. So Lucy, you're our grammarian and our counter.
Yes.
Go ahead and let us know what you're going to be doing today.
So as the counter today, I will be looking for your filler words. So anytime you say or those kinds of things, I will be making a note of them and writing them down. I don't have anything to click you guys with, and I don't know how effective that would be right now, but I will.
And
my pen doesn't click. I'll find something. But I will be taking a note of every time you say those words. And then as grammarian, it's my job to come up with a word of the day, which I haven't come up with yet. So I'm gonna go with one I just said, which is expectations. Expectations means a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. So I'll be looking for you guys to use that word today in your speeches. Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Lucy. And we have expectations that the meeting today will be highly successful because we can all just be flexible and participate with each other without having to be in physical presence with each other. The next person on the team is our timer, and that's Megan Isasi. Megan, let us know what you're going to be doing for us today.
Hi team, right now I am making my timer signs. As you can see, I started the time of red. So you will see RED, red, in the camera for when you've reached the maximum time for your speech. I will also have a green sign and a yellow sign. Green will tell you that you have reached the minimum time. Yellow will tell you that you are nearing time. And of course, as I showed you, red will tell you that you're at maximum time. So just make sure that as you are speaking throughout your speech, or whether it be your speech or table topics, that you are paying attention to my camera, that you can see that sign right there. It might be backwards, but it's there. Thank you.
Fantastic, Megan. And I guess as a point of information, if you are a speaker and Megan will be timing you, it may be a good idea to pin Megan as one of the video so that way you don't miss the time, or maybe just time yourself so you can kind of see the clock and just see whether you're going over time if Megan gets off camera and you don't see the times. And that's pretty much my team. So we're excited. We're going to evaluate the meeting at the end. And now I pass the baton or the Zoom talking over back to our Toastmaster.
Okay, I went to get a pen, so we'll be ready for clicking. Today, we have 2 speeches, and I would like to introduce the evaluator for speaker number 1, who's going to be Yvonne, and your evaluator is Nancy. So Nancy, could you let us know what Yvonne will be speaking on today? Your microphone's off, Nancy.
Thank you. Yvonne, are you planning a manual speech, or do you have something that I should be looking for?
This is just a manual speech. I'm working on level 1 for my second pathway.
You're working on, okay, level 1 of your second pathway? Is this your icebreaker?
No, the next speech after the first speech after the icebreaker.
Okay. I'll look it up and see if I can find the evaluation. Thank you. I'll be doing the second speech of level 1 for Yvonne. And I'll be looking for vocal variety, clarity, looking even how she does with a whole new system instead of being live, being online. So that will be something that I'll be paying attention to also, as we all are. So I look forward to a great speech, Yvonne.
And it's 5 to 7 minutes, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So usually as a Toastmaster, I would give some kind of introduction. I don't have one in front of me, but Yvonne has been a member of our club for a little while now, and she's moving really quickly through her pathways. So I'm really excited to hear your speech today. So welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you. Today, our theme is working with new technology. But my topic is really regarding an older technology known as notebooks, the written form of communication, which is something that we've had for centuries, and it's taken different forms as our technology of paper writing and now and education has shifted. My topic was inspired by an essay by Joan Gideon, which is known as On Keeping a Notebook. And in that essay, she describes a writer as someone whose main purpose is to, whose main passion is putting words and phrases on pieces of paper. And I found that quite fitting because right now during this time, this new era, I'm finding myself using a lot more technology and a lot more social media than I had originally intended to use. And I also found myself gravitating toward notebooks, also reviewing a lot of the old notebooks that I've had in the last few years and seeing what is it that I've kept in those notebooks. In her essay, Joan Gideon just refers to random thoughts, random phrases, random words, such as a ginger parchment, referring to a person that she met at a bar, referring to a garment that someone wore. And those small phrases or catchwords, when she was reading them in her notebook and in her essay, they allowed her to expand upon a greater memory, a greater experience, and brought her back to a time or an event. And I went through and I started looking through my old notebooks, and I found that a lot of my notebooks had 3 themes to them. A lot of them were memory keeping, was the most common one. What did I do at an event? What did I do during that day? What did I do with a group of people? The second one was all of the tasks that I had to complete. What are the ongoing to-do lists? What did I have to do for a project? What are the tasks that I had to complete for preparing to travel? What did I have to do in order to move? What did I have to do in order to secure a new apartment? All of those tasks and reviewing all of those necessary lists and seeing the process that I went through in completing various projects and assignments. I also found I had a number of goals, and what are the expectations that I had perhaps in year 2012? What did the goals that I have in 2018? What goals did I have when I had a new role in my job? And going through my notebooks, I found is that there was a common theme that I often had very clear and concise goals that I wanted. And oftentimes my goals and my expectations were not in alignment. I found that my expectations were either significantly smaller or far greater than what was actually the reality. And over time, I've learned to, in reviewing the notebooks from a span of over 10 years, I have found that I've learned during some events how to streamline my expectations a little bit, how to perhaps set more realistic goals, and to continue to use best practices that I've learned over the task. One thing very much like Joe Gideon, I have found that the memory keeping aspect of it, of being able to see a small phrase in a notebook and recall a great experience that I've shared with family members. Perhaps one example is the trip to Washington, D.C., when I saw a small snippet of phrase that said cherry blossom. It reminded me of how I went with one of my best friends to Washington, D.C. during the cherry blossom season. And we took our son not only to the cherry blossoms, but to visit the various monuments in Washington, D.C., including the Lincoln Memorial. And that was, for him, that was one of his greatest memories that he's had, and an experience that he still treasures 3 and 4 years later. And just that one phrase related that giant memory. So I know right now we're using technology in the form of electronic technology, but we can also find comfort and reassurance, perhaps creating memories of how we ourselves are handling this new crisis in writing in our journal. So again, like if you're perhaps like me or Joan Gideon, you have a reason to use a notebook. Thank you.
Wow, Yvonne, that was a great speech and very, very relevant for what everyone's dealing with today. I have a notebook right here that I'm tracking everything. So thank you again. That was really, really good. And our next speech today is going to be by Crystal, and your evaluator is
Megan.
Megan. Thank you.
Yes.
So Megan, would you like to let us know what you'll be evaluating today?
Yes. Today, Crystal's objectives are to understand the relationship of sales techniques to persuade people, skillfully use the 4 steps in a sales presentation: attention, interest, desire, and action. Identify and promote a unique selling proposition in sales and presentation, and be able to handle objections and close a prospective buyer. Her proposed speech time is 10 to 12 minutes, and the speech topic is sell a product.
Excellent. Thank you, Megan. So I know Crystal has spoken at our club many times, and we really enjoy hearing you speak. So thank you so much for stepping up as a speaker today. I would like to welcome Crystal.
Thank you, everyone. It's so nice seeing all of you here on this virtual meeting. And I'm going to be selling a product to you guys today that is very fitted for the occasion. It is very popular these days, and I think it is just most suitable for what we are going through right now. And ladies and gentlemen, I do have to tell you that you need this product. Every single person in America needs this product. And I know some of you are probably thinking, I know what she's going to say, so I don't want to pique your interest any longer. The product that I am selling you is toilet paper. Ladies and gentlemen, has this ever been you? Believe me, especially in a time like this, you do not want to be that person using the bathroom. Turn to your right when you go to grab the lovely toilet paper and your roll is empty. Well, let me tell you why you need to have this toilet paper, especially now in a time like this, in a season like this. This is what I hope for each and every person on this call right now. This should be you, ladies and gentlemen. A plethora of toilet paper, plenty in stock. And you know, toilet paper is so nice and it's so convenient. It's not just for the bathrooms. Now we're probably finding uses for toilet paper that we never thought we needed before. There are people that have large amounts of rolls of toilet paper and they're using it not only for the bathroom, but to clean up messes, to wipe their nose. They're probably using it with bleach to clean and disinfect and sanitize everything. We don't know why people have so much toilet paper and why they are using toilet paper. But the reason why I want to sell you guys toilet paper is because I just don't want you to ever run out. Especially at a time like this, we need to make sure that we're not running out. I want to make sure that you all have enough in stock. And what's interesting about my roll of toilet paper is that it will leave you feeling like this. Muster up toilet paper, please. It is so soft. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is hard to sell virtually because you can't feel this toilet paper right now, but I have to tell you, this toilet paper is so soft, which is probably why it's out of stock everywhere and why so many people are wanting to use it. So hopefully that has generated your interest to tell you why I think you should buy this toilet paper. But I have a few more lines to add as to why I think you should purchase this one. First off, it is a cheap product. Though the stores may be sold out, I promise you that this roll of toilet paper is going to be cheaper than any of the other rolls that you've ever bought. Maybe a little bit more pricier than maybe some of the cheaper generic versions, but that's because of the softness of this toilet paper. And you will be like this little kitty right here if you had this roll of toilet paper, and you would know exactly how soft it is. Now let me show you what this toilet paper is not like. No, that is so rough, so horrible. You do not want toilet paper like this. And every other roll of toilet paper is like this, except for my roll, which is why you want to purchase this roll of toilet paper. And ladies and gentlemen, it gets even better than that. With your purchase of toilet paper, today only, it comes with hand sanitizer. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. When you purchase toilet paper, you will get a travel size hand sanitizer to take with you on the go, when you gotta go, in a time like this, when you don't know who you're going to be talking to or where you're going to meet this virus at. You want to make sure that you are sanitizing and keeping your hands clean at every opportunity that you have. So with the purchase of this toilet paper comes the lovely hand sanitizer. And finally, I've got one last point that makes it get even better than this. This toilet paper, ladies and gentlemen, and this hand sanitizer, if you go to the store today and you look around and you're looking for these products, chances are you won't find them. But if you purchase these products through me, the lovely thing about making this purchase today is that my products come with a monthly subscription. So I love monthly subscriptions because they deliver exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. So you will never have to worry about being this person who is sitting on the porcelain throne and runs out of toilet paper, because you will always get more toilet paper delivered to you. And you don't have to worry about going to H-E-B or Walmart and contracting all those germs, because this box of toilet paper will come directly to your doorstep. So I want to encourage all of you to please purchase this roll of toilet paper, especially with it coming with the hand sanitizer. And the monthly subscription is really a nice feature because it allows you to get exactly what you need. But maybe if you're like me, I have a few monthly subscriptions, and I realized the other day that I was running low on products that I needed that weren't scheduled to be delivered for another 3 weeks. So we give you the option to rush deliver and to do a one-time purchase where if you need something before your subscription date is arrived, you can still get this product and it will be delivered to you just as fast as Amazon in 2 days or less. And the other good thing that people normally don't like about subscriptions, it kind of turns them away, is they feel, well, what if I want to change it or cancel it? Or what if I look like that person that has this much toilet paper? And well, you know, I just don't need another roll of toilet paper right now. Well, that's fine too. Even though you are monthly subscribed to receive your lovely extra soft toilet paper, you can change that date. You can prolong that date and say, you know what? I'm going to skip a subscription this month because I have plenty of toilet paper. I'm not panicking with this epidemic coronavirus. I know exactly what's going on, and I'm stocked with hand sanitizer and toilet paper, so I don't need to purchase any. So you're okay with not purchasing them, and we offer that product to you too. We offer that opportunity where you can bypass the toilet paper for a month. And the lovely thing is that your subscription isn't canceled, it's just postponed. So say you forget that you had plenty of toilet paper, but then you run out. Well, the next month you will still get your toilet paper coming in, so you don't have to worry about being without or ever running out of toilet paper, especially in a time like this. So in closing, these last couple of minutes, I just want to remind you as to why I think you should purchase this product over all others. Ladies and gentlemen, everything out there is rough. Life is rough, especially in a season like this when we are being forced to be quarantined inside our homes and stay safe. You want to make sure that you have toilet paper handy and on stock. Let me be the one to offer this product to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, extra soft, and we even throw in this bonus gift of lovely hand sanitizer that can keep you clean, it can keep your guest clean, And I promise you that by purchasing this product, by subscribing to this product, you will be the life of your home and your party, because you will always have exactly what you need in so much of abundance that you can provide it to all of your guests. No one will ever be afraid to go over to your house because you have plenty of toilet paper, you have plenty of hand sanitizer, and I promise you that it is going to be the absolute best purchase that you can ever make. So I just want to thank you all for your attention. I have no idea how I talked for 10 minutes straight, but this toilet paper sells itself, ladies and gentlemen, and that is exactly what happened right here, right now. So thank you so much, and I hope to talk with each and every one of you about purchasing this product. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Wow, I very convinced, and I want to know where I can sign up right now. So the next part of our meeting is the table topics. So today our table topics master is Liza? Crystal, sorry. Let's get into table topics.
All right. Well, I currently see 8 people still on the call today. So I'm going to start with those that are sharing the video, and hopefully the others, maybe they just stopped sharing or they're on mute, but we can have enough time, hopefully, to try and go through everybody as we deal with the topic of working with new technology and just answering table topic questions. So the first person I would like to call on will be our general evaluator, Liza. So Liza, I'm going to give you the first question. And again, we're sticking to the theme of working with new technology. And remember, table topics, the goal is to talk for at least a minute, but to stay under 2 minutes. So you don't know what the question is, but we want everybody to give it their best and try and answer and to try and talk at least for a minute. And Megan will show you the green and red sign whenever you meet your limit or whenever you've extended your time. So we'll just stay on top of that and hopefully give everybody an opportunity to speak. So Liza, as our first contendant, my question for you is, how do you feel about virtual learning?
I'm sure you'll agree that the world has completely changed. Whoever imagined that organizations would be sending their employees home with the laptops and technology so that they could work from home? I remember a time when I was trying to advocate for what we call teleworking, when you're telecommuting, and it was seen as, oh no, you're not gonna get anything done when you go home. And now guess what? We're all being sent home and being told, don't come into work, make sure you're productive when you get home. So I'm gonna talk just a little bit about the difference between telecommuting, which means working at your home or anywhere else versus being in the office, and working from home. Sometimes people see working from home as one, you have Netflix on and you have the Zoom on for your meeting and you're not paying attention because you're doing everything else in your home, versus telecommuting, which is actually working from home. And so when I think about virtual learning, I want you to think about it in this term as well. Sometimes we relegate our learning to being passive. And so when we hear working from home, people think, oh, working from home, they're just casually working, they're doing their laundry, they've got their kids, and they're not really paying attention. When really the reality is you find yourself more productive when you're at home in your comfortable environment and you have scheduled time when you can get your work done and you have a nice setting where you can work. I think it's the same for virtual learning. You can't just say, oh, I'll just pop on that webinar and I'll do the dishes and I'll do all these other things, because you're going to be distracted and you won't learn as much as you need to. So virtual learning not only has to do with you being in a comfortable environment, but it also has to be important for you to set the space that you can learn. Just like if you were learning in a classroom setting with other people, it's important for you to treat virtual learning the same way. Schedule time when you can show up on your computer or reading a book. However you're doing your virtual learning, you need to schedule the time and really be intentional about what you're trying to get out of that learning. So with that, I'm sure that you'll agree that it's important to stay to keep up with the trends. Now more than ever, is it important for you to level up your skills? Oh yeah. So if you're not using technology, there's people afraid of coming into these meetings. That should be a sign that you may be left behind. And a lot of jobs are getting outsourced and are getting eliminated because there's people afraid of the changes that may happen in their job. So virtual learning, it's here to stay, and it's important for you to learn how to be a really engaged virtual learner. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Oh, that's good points. I wish we were recording this meeting. I can go back and listen to. Oh, we are recording. Yay. Okay. All right. The next person that I would like to call on will be Nancy. So Nancy is VP of Education for the Highnoon Club. And so Nancy, the question I wanted to ask you is, as Toastmasters, we are headed down a virtual path, especially with pathways and the new stuff that we have going on. And so I'm curious, how do you think that virtual learning will affect our Toastmasters clubs? There we go.
As Lisa said, the world is changing. And if we aren't willing to learn new things, we are going to be left behind. This has forced us to step out of our comfort zone a little bit and learn to speak online. Learn to speak to a computer, looking at all the other stuff going on. It's totally different than coming to an in-person meeting, and it's a skill that we're learning. Not just that, the background of it all, like how do you mute people or how do you even set up your account? It can be very intimidating. So people that are willing to step out and try it, it's another new skill. I don't see in Toastmasters that we'll give up our in-person meetings, but adding this as another skill, it's just incredible to have this opportunity, because the more we learn, the more enriched our lives will be. I can tell y'all that when the shutdown first happened, I went into almost a depression, and I didn't wake up one day until 11 a.m. I thought, what is the point of waking up? I was literally, I have nothing to do. I don't have a job. I do a lot of different jobs, but I just felt depressed. But these Zoom meetings and the possibility of new learning, because I am a person who always likes to be very steep on the learning curve, have been fun, something to look forward to. Last week, my calendar, all the squares on my calendar were crossed out. Every item on my list was crossed out. And this week, I was able to write some things on my calendar. Zoom meeting for Toastmasters at 12 noon. How is it going to change us in the future? We've already been using Zoom. Toastmasters has already been using Zoom for officer meetings, for conference meetings. And now we also can have it as club meetings if we want to, here and there. Maybe add it once a month into our program. We'll see what works out. But it's only going to make us more productive, and I'm glad we're not scared to try it. So pass it on to your friends. I'm glad to have new visitors, Katie here today, and the phone number that doesn't have a name. We're glad you're here today. And keep trying Toastmasters as we become friends and get to know each other. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, the next person that I would like to call on will be Lucy, who is our Toastmaster. And I'm curious, Lucy, because people have pros and cons to both meeting in person and meeting online. So I'm curious of what your opinion is in regards to Toastmasters, if you would attend in person or if you would attend online meetings, and how that would change your involvement in your club.
Okay, well, I have always been a person who likes to work from home. I love to do teleconference meetings, video conferencing, and I have actually been the leader in my department for moving everyone to the cloud and getting us ready for a situation just like this. And over the last 2 weeks, it's really shown it's been a struggle. So for the last 6 months, I've been moving my team to using apps, to using video conferencing, to using various different ways we can communicate and share information and stay connected. And it's been a challenge, but I think the training I've done with my groups over the last 6 months or so, we've just been training for this, as they would say. So I think for Toastmasters, for me, I am happy to attend virtually or in person. I love coming in person because actually I feel like when you are speaking through a camera or through the computer, it's less scary to me than being there in front of people. I know that sounds crazy, right? But that's how I personally feel. So for me, showing up today was easy. And for me, leading my team meetings has been really easy. But I think for many of our club members, showing up in person and having that personal connection and making friends is really important to them. So either way, for me, I like it, but I think a lot of people might have different opinions.
Great response. Thank you so much, Lucy. And a lot of truth in that too. I know some people are dying for social interaction and they would love to go to an in-person meeting, but then you have other people that maybe have kids or live further away that would love to go that never get to go, and this is a perfect opportunity for them to be a part of that meeting as well. So we've got a few more minutes. I think we can squeeze in maybe 2 or 3 more people. So the next person I'm going to call on will be our timer, Megan. And I'll go ahead and time for you, Megan, since you will be giving your speech. So I'll do that for you. But my question for you is, a lot of people like to use video when they do Zoom, but a lot of people also don't. And do you think the video is an additional feature that is beneficial, or do you think it really makes a difference whether we use video or not, or should we just use the audio?
Thank you, Crystal. I definitely think that the video adds that human touch that you're missing from being with one another. I think being with one another in person definitely makes a difference when you're working with each other, especially working with each other in a strong capacity. I'm not discrediting video chat. Video chat is very resourceful and very useful for times when you can't meet with each other. With that being said, I would strongly suggest that anybody who is hosting any kind of virtual meetings or any kind of Toastmaster meetings, that they opt in to use the video so that everybody has that interaction with each other, being able to see facial expressions, being able to see the usage of the hands, being able to see the awesome backgrounds like Liza has. It all makes a difference, and it allows you to play with communication in a way that you may have never even thought you could play with it before. And I want to just bounce off of Lucy there. She said that being behind the computer makes you a little more brave. And I can agree with Lucy that it does make you a little bit more brave. Last Toastmasters meeting, I was asked on a table topic about a pen, an imaginary pen, and I threw the pen across the room, and I did all these weird things with the pen that I probably would not have done in person. But because I was behind the camera, I felt a little bit more empowered to play with the things that were around me, to use them as props, to use them as visuals. And I think that's the power of virtual meetings. But let's not forsake the power of meeting together and shaking hands and breaking bread. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you so much, Megan. So the next person that I would like to call on, if she's willing, because I know she's a guest, Katie, I think you're a guest. So I'm just curious if you're okay with answering a question. Would you be all right with that? All right. So I noticed, Katie, that you had a little one with you, and I've actually got a son who's a teenager too. And I'm curious, how do you think virtual meetings, or in this case, like virtual classrooms, will work good with younger kids as opposed to adults?
Thank you. Actually, I'm pretty excited to talk about this. So in addition to being a guest of Nancy's, and thank you for inviting me, I actually homeschool my two older children who are 10 and 13. And then my youngest, as y'all saw, is now just 1. So, and whenever I myself was attending college, I prefer distance learning and things like that because of the flexibility and the timing and stuff. I actually live about 40 miles north of Corpus. So attending a class or a Toastmasters online or live has been really difficult for me to manage because we have to schedule our trips into Corpus very carefully. So that meant whenever, by living out here, we actually homeschool my kiddos, and they do so via the Texas public school system, all online. And so they actually have become accustomed to having video chat sessions with their teachers. So they attend live video sessions, they complete their work online, I help them as needed. So I don't have the burden of doing all of their schooling for them, but they get, just like this, the similar teacher to classroom to classmate interaction. So for us, having video conferencing possibilities has expanded what I would have been able to offer them as a parent and for homeschooling things like that. So just from a distance point of view, having these opportunities have been really expanding our possibilities, and we don't have to burn up so much fuel, and we get to save our precious time that we would normally spend on the road going to different places. And so I know from personal testimonies that video conferencing and chatting abilities are really effective for kiddos, you know, as young as 8, because that's whenever we started. So I know it works, I know it's possible, and I think that this whole pandemic situation has forced many public schools to actually realize that this is actually a possible and real option for expanding education opportunities to more kiddos. Thanks.
Good job. Thank you so much, Katie. So many good points that you made. And again, so many facts in there. Like, I know I'm saving so much time by not commuting, and I'm saving gas money by not commuting, but I'm also learning the benefits of, like Liza was saying, of just being structured and organized. The first week I worked from home was absolutely horrible because I tried doing it sitting by the TV with like The Office on in the background. I was like, this is not working. So now I've got my computer desk set up with my workstation, and I really do feel so much more productive during my days, just forcing myself to stay focused and structured. So thank you all so much for participating in Table Topics. And I will now turn this meeting back over to our Toastmaster, Lucy.
Thank you, Crystal. That was great. I really enjoyed our table topic session today and hearing how everyone is adapting to our new lives, our temporary lives, I hope. The next part of our meeting is the evaluations. So I will be inviting our evaluators for the speeches up first, and then we'll move on to the general evaluation section of the meeting. So our first evaluator today is Nancy, evaluating Yvonne. So welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you, Yvonne, for being brave to be the first online speech in Highnoon Toastmasters. You have broken the ice for all of us and showed us how to do it, and you did a great job. I love your introduction. You introduced the topic that our theme, you tied it into the theme of technology and online learning of today, but you brought it back to something that is so important, which is journaling into notebooks and writing things down. We live in a world that's so fast that we can just do screens and run from one thing to another. And I envy and admire that you have written down your memories and goals into notebooks that you can go back and you actually keep them. It's a very powerful message to all of us that we could actually do stuff like that and be that organized. So speaking of organized, I thought your speech was very organized. You started with an introduction, and then you actually had 3 points, and you used your fingers as good visuals for each point of how you organized your notebooks. So the organization was great. I liked your background, American flag. You have a nice simple background, and since you have such a nice simple white background, if you got rid of the American flag, you can do what Lisa does on her background. We learned last time I did online with Liza, I learned that you can put a picture back there if you have a nice white wall like you do. So that's something you can play with on Zoom. I'm going to say that the American flag to me is very nice, and the shirt, I would say for online meetings, it was a little distracting wearing a logo on your shirt. So that's just something, like, I want to read the logos on your shirts now that I think about it. But as you were speaking, I would look at that word and it would take away my focus from what you were saying. So I think when we practice online, that's something to think about. What are we wearing? And what is our background? Let's see. I think you were a little more nervous, and that's totally understandable. More nervous than you are live because it was something brand new. The other thing I would challenge you to do is to add some humor and your beautiful smile. I think you were nervous, and so that wasn't coming through. But next time, I think you'll be able to add that in. So I congratulate you for breaking the ice on our Highnoon online learning and jumping right in and getting it done. Thank you very much, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Our second evaluator today is Megan, who will be evaluating Crystal. So welcome, Megan.
Thank you. Can somebody time me?
I'll time you, Megan.
Okay. So I wanted to say that I found your speech very humorous. It was very funny at first. And I kind of had a feeling that you were going to do the toilet paper thing. And I knew it was going to be funny. So I really enjoyed the fact that I got a little laugh in today. I need some of those when I'm all here by myself. And there's nobody to make me laugh. I could just call Crystal and tell her to give me her toilet paper speech. Get some laughs in for the day. I really liked the tone in your voice, and it was very salesy. You could hear that the tone in your voice went from different inflections and tones, but it was constantly in that questioning tone, as if we needed to question our lives and whether we had stock in toilet paper or not. And so that was a good use of your voice to help be more convincing. Monthly subscription of toilet paper. What a great idea that was. Why hasn't anybody thought of that? Keep the toilet paper coming to your door at all times of the year and never have to think about it again when you go to the grocery store. Because when people go to the grocery store, it's more than likely that they're going to shop for groceries. And it's always the trash bags, the toilet paper, the paper plates that people forget about. And you know, you're walking out of the store and by the time you know it, you forgot all those things. So a toilet paper subscription, not a bad idea actually. And then I really liked the organization of your speech. At the beginning, you told us what we were going to talk about. In the middle, you gave us reasons why we needed to buy the toilet paper. And you even gave us some visuals. And that's where I'm going to ask that maybe we consider as a whole, not just Crystal, incorporating some sort of way to give those visuals besides putting them up to the screen. I think maybe having some sort of PowerPoint slide that you could have shared onto the screen with all of us may have been a good way to deliver that visual, because every time, I don't know about for you guys, but for me, every time she would do that, hold something up to the screen, the audio would kind of like get a little bit softer. And then I couldn't hear exactly what she was saying. So if we could all find a way for incorporating presentations into Zooms, so people are not afraid to use their PowerPoint slides and share their screen so that all the people on the Zoom can see that, that would be a good idea for all of us to incorporate. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. And next, we're going to go to the general evaluator for the meeting. So, Liza, you're up.
Thank you so much, Lucy. So as your general evaluator, like I said earlier, I have a team of amazing people that help me with this. So I'm going to lead off right back to you, Lucy. You are our grammarian and our counter. Would you please let us know how we did?
Yes, today we did really well considering this is our first time doing a Zoom meeting for this club. So we did a really good job. Yvonne, I counted about 6 ums, which is a lot more than what we usually get from you. So I think the whole being on camera was a little different for you today. So 6 ums, something to work on. Crystal, I heard you say so and like, but it might have been part of your speech. But those words came up a lot. Liza, I only heard you say one word, like you kind of like extended it a little bit longer than it should have been. But other than that, no ums or anything like that. Nancy, I didn't hear anything during your table topic, so that was good. During your evaluation, there was 1 like and 1 so. That was it. Megan, I just heard 1 during your table topics, and I didn't catch anything during your evaluations. Katie, you had 4 ums and a few so's. So I think so is your filler word. And I didn't count myself, but I know I've said a lot. So I will definitely be working on that for our next Zoom meeting. So that's for the ahs, and expectations was our word of the day. And I heard Yvonne say it in her speech. So well done, Yvonne. And Liza, I heard you say it too right at the beginning of the meeting. So great job. And if I missed any other word of the days, I'm sorry. I was really interested in what everyone was saying. Thank you.
Great evaluation, Lucy. And swiftly, we'll move on to our timer, Megan E. Saucy.
Yes. For Yvonne, I have 5 minutes and 30 seconds for her speech. For Crystal, 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Great job at keeping it going there. And then for our table topics, Liza at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, Nancy at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, Lucy at 1 minute and 30 seconds, myself at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and Katie, great job, 2 minutes for your, I think this is your first time, right? And you were able to exceed the minimum 1 minute and hit it right on the ending mark of that 2 minutes. 2 minutes is max, so you did a really good job for your first time. And then Nancy for your speech evaluation, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and myself for speech evaluation at 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Thank you.
Great, Megan. Thank you so much. And I'm going to give my evaluation of the meeting. I believe not only was our theme fantastic, our word of the day, setting expectations, and the quote that our Toastmaster gave from Brene Brown's podcast was amazing. I think this meeting not only was a great explanation of how each and every single one of us is using this pandemic and this obstacle to thrive, this meeting was also an opportunity for us to step out into something we've never done before. I really liked the fact that Yvonne came on super strong. And Yvonne, I know you've turned your camera video off, but were you using your phone or were you using your computer? I'm just curious.
I'm using my phone.
Okay.
I was just, I came from multiple meetings back to back, that's right. So I just went from one meeting to the other. Yeah.
So I was just gonna say, just as an evaluation, one of the things that's really nice is if the video is landscape versus portrait mode. So maybe the next time you could just flip up your phone to be landscape, so that way we can see you. And that's just the only thing that I would say for that one. The only thing I would also say is that our fillers were very, I guess you could hear the fillers more, I guess, virtually. So you need to know when you're speaking in person, maybe somehow I wasn't hearing as much fillers, but I was hearing all the fillers when we were speaking virtually. Crystal, you did an amazing job really dramatizing your speech. You had the body language going. I think, you know, it didn't matter whether we were physically there with you. We got the message with your hands and your toilet paper. It was really good. I like that. So that's just a point, I guess. If you want to be effective virtually, you also need to treat it the same way as you would be in person. You need to speak with your hands, and you probably need to do it even more. And I'm really dramatizing right now. But yes, so go ahead and do that. I think what I found is when I gave my table topic, I felt so much pressure speaking that I felt like I needed a break. And so I think maybe this is just a virtual thing. Maybe the point of standing up, walking to the stage and speaking kind of like gets your energy out or in. And then when you shake hands and you go back, kind of lets you center. So I felt the need to turn off my video and just stand up and take a deep breath after I gave my table topic. So maybe that's something that maybe we can have everybody know that they can do that. Another thing I wanted to point out was, Megan, you did a great job with our timing. I really like how you left the timer up. And then Crystal, you're a good tag teamer. You ended up pulling out your iPad and you even had it written. So that was a pretty good job. And I like that. I think our timers just need to keep it there for a long time so everyone can see. So that was really good. I like the idea. Go ahead, table topics.
Did it show up backwards when I held it up?
No.
It didn't? Okay. I thought maybe the words would be reversed. So.
No,
Okay.
it didn't do that.
Okay.
And then I know my evaluation is going a little bit longer, but I feel like I want to touch through everything because this was our first meeting. I really agree with Nancy about the shirt with the words. And to be honest, when you have words on your shirt, and I realize I'm doing that, it's probably backwards. And so people are really trying to read your shirt, you know, because they're like, oh, what does that say? You know, so I think it's important maybe to think about that. Like if you do have words on your screen, like now I'm wondering if you guys can see this Toastmasters written backwards, because that would be distracting. So keep in mind, if you have any words that people may see them backwards. The table topics were amazing, Crystal. Absolutely loved them. And again, I just want to let you all know that we have an amazing guest with us today. This guest, not only did this guest deliver a great table topic, this guest taught me, you know. I think I have 3 kids and now I'm trying to figure out how are we homeschooling, you know? And so I just absolutely love the fact that our guest was here and just dropped knowledge for us. So I want to encourage our guest to join this club. Join us next week and maybe, I don't know, join our club so you can give a speech next week and elaborate on this Texas public school homeschooling thing you have going on. Maybe show us your schedule so that we can all start to implement that in our homes with our kids right now. And with that, I just want to thank you all so much for inviting me to be your general evaluator for this High Noon first online virtual meeting. And I pass the speaking baton back to our Toastmaster, Lucy. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you everyone for attending today. I think this went really well, really smoothly for our first ever Zoom meeting, and I'm really looking forward to next week. So I'm gonna pass this back to Nancy to close the meeting.
Thank you.
Hey, Nancy, I have a question if I may.
Yes.
Liza, you had mentioned pin video. I've never used that before. What does that mean or what does that do? You're muted.
Sorry. If you hover over people's pictures, you should see 3 dots. If you click on it, it says pin video. One of them says pin video. And the reason you want to do this is because, like, for example, if I'm doing the speech contest, I'm going to pin the timer because I know I have a problem with that. And I'm going to just know for myself, I don't care about looking at the audience. Like, I'm going to treat the audience like I'm looking at a group full of people that I'm talking to. And I just don't want to go over my time. So I'm going to pin the video of the timer, because if you have, like, let's say if I have 10 or 20 people or even more than that on the Zoom, you're not going to see everyone. As much as you go on gallery view, you're going to see pages and pages of people. So if there's one video that you want to see specifically versus the speaker view and the gallery view, you can pin that video, and no matter who's speaking, that video will never disappear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good to know. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, we are learning about Zoom. And not just, you know, it's something we're all getting a big education on. And I hope that many more of our members will. Yeah. I was glad to see our Terry pop in for a while. I don't know if y'all noticed that he was here and he was at his desk, and then something must have come up. We had a mystery guest who just was anonymous except for the phone number, and I'm really happy to see that today. And also want to thank Katie for coming. I know Katie from La Leche League. We both are co-leaders there, and Katie is very talented. She's a great mom and teacher of her kids and helps moms with breastfeeding. And you can see that she's also a great speaker. So you also, I'm so glad you're here, because I wish I would have found it when I had just started in La Leche League when I was younger. It just makes us, Toastmasters makes us more powerful. We don't know what's going to be coming forward in these next months. We thank Liza for setting up High Noon with this untimed meeting. We are a couple minutes over. We're going to end, but every Wednesday. We're going to be here a little bit before 12. You can sign on before 12 and get settled until 1 o'clock. If you have questions, you can stay after the meeting. I'll stay on. Other than that, I'm very glad to see you today. Thank you for coming. See you next Wednesday at noon. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yay.
If anybody wants to come to Aqua Vitae, we'll be here tomorrow, Thursday, 12 to 1.
Yes, send the invitation again. Any questions, Katie? Would you like to do more?
Sure. Yeah. Sign me up. Like I said, I've been seeing your little invites on Facebook, and I was interested in joining it and learning more about it, but the timing was just always not the most convenient for me too. So, hey, thanks coronavirus for
Right.
Right.
helping me get here.
We're going to be here for almost the first 6 months, and we join for 6 months at a time. So if you'd
Okay.
like to join, I'll get with you on how to do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You can definitely, not definitely, nothing's definite right now, but we are planning to be online for the next several weeks at least. I think we're
Okay,
signed
great.
up. Oh yes, I will tell you that the place where we meet is a college, and they have already taken the whole semester online.
Right.
So they will not be in the office. So we will definitely be meeting online until summer. And we would love to have you as a member, even for this first 6 months. You can get a lot done, and like Liza said, you can get right in and give some speeches. So I'll get with you, Katie, on that afterwards.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, let her speak next week. Just put her on already. Just like,
Yeah.
I think that
I know, I wanna
you wanna-
learn more.
I don't know. I want to send her the icebreaker speech
I
so
know,
she can work.
I know. I'm just like, let's just have another session about homeschooling. Like after this, can we just like,
Mhm.
But this is a great opportunity. I know we're always trying to build new clubs in Corpus Christi. And I think this is an opportunity that we build in an online club and start it and have it at a different time than our other Toastmasters meetings. My problem is that Mondays, Tuesdays are taken, Wednesdays are taken. Some Thursdays are, well, Thursdays is y'all's, and then Friday are Fridays. But I was thinking, what noon could we do another time, or 5:30? But I think people like it at their lunchtime if you were back to work.
I prefer lunch because of my kids. So I like to just schedule my time. I block it. And so I'm like, I just really prefer the evening. To
Right,
be
I
with
mean,
family. Yeah.
I agree. If you're at work, you could be eating lunch,
Yeah.
mute yourself and eat your lunch and attend the meeting. So it's something to think about. I don't have all the answer, but I want to think about what would work. I can't do Tuesdays. I could do most Mondays. So y'all think about your schedule, and I don't have to be in on the online meeting, but I think it's a great opportunity for Corpus Christi that we have some online options. So like, for example, somebody like Katie joins Highnoon. She can come with Eli, her little 1-year-old, and her other 2 boys to Highnoon sometimes when they're in Corpus Christi. But if other times she can do the online meeting, which may not be Highnoon, it may be another name, Corpus
Yeah.
Christi Zoomers.
Cool.
Hey,
Well, I guess
Liza.
we know for the next few months, we'll be meeting Highnoon. We'll be meeting online.
Right, we will be. So we'll get this.
Sparkling City is not meeting at all because
Uh-huh.
they were already told not to. They can't be on city property.
Oh.
So anybody who's meeting on city property, that's Aqua